Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the semi-finals of ETF2L Season 33. I'm Bum, and I have Gem on production, and I'm joined by the lovely Eepily tonight. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. Don't know about lovely, but I am here. I'm present. I'm feeling some video games between two pretty banger teams.
Yeah, of course, Faint getting here from their second place finish in the regular season, and Ascent have worked their way up after beating Aura Electro last week. The winner of this team obviously going to the grand finals to face off against Seven, who took that top seed in the regular season.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty interesting. Mainly because so going into this, we did see Fate play Ascent in I think it was actually week 7, so pretty recent in terms of kind of performances. They did actually trade maps, but as much as you'd love to go off that and be like, okay, so there's some good maps and bad maps for each team. We can kind of take a little bit of info there. Doesn't really mean anything because what happened was both teams just banned the map that they lost on. So all the picks and bans have been done. So I believe Faint lost on Pronans, so they're like, right, getting out of the map pool. And Ascent lost on Snake, so they just ditched that as well. So uh, I'd love to take some info from that. I mean, I guess the best thing we could do is say they were fairly close. There wasn't any significant DM disparity that won the games. It was more about map knowledge. So, I think that the picks are gonna come into this, especially with some slightly weirder maps to start with, like Sunshine into Metalworks. They're not like, our core of kind of process, snake, water, and gully. So I see some little different things. Might come down a bit more to map knowledge. What do you reckon?
Yeah, with this new funky season format, the 9 maps coming into play, both these teams obviously having to play some maps they're a lot less familiar with, maybe banning out based on the other team's strengths rather than their own weaknesses, obviously banning the maps that they were beaten on in their final week of play. So we will be starting off with Sunshine here, heading into Metalworks, and if we need a third map, we will be playing Process here tonight. Do you reckon we'll be seeing that third map equally?
I think it's genuinely a pretty. I think it's a decent chance. I don't think it's like clear cut. I think going into this game, a lot of people are going to be predicting not just based on the kind of the season performance, but just kind of roster to roster. A lot of people are feeling like Fate is looking really good this season to take minimum second place. And obviously, we saw them in the main season. They took it was pretty close games, but they did some serious damage to Seven's ego by beating them in 2 golden cap wins. So Fate, as of right now, is the one team which it seemed like they've really rivaled Seven by literally beating them. And there's no reason why they wouldn't be looking to go, let's go straight grand finals. Let's go beat him again. Why not? Same deal, different scenario. Whereas Ascent, it's a slightly, well, considerably shakier season, to be honest. I feel like they've still got like the star power in their roster to at least take a map here. I think we will be seeing 3, but I feel like, overall people are going to be predicting Fate to come out with a big old W.
Yeah, Faint taking an entire official off Seven isn't something you'd see often. Obviously, they usually lose product once a season to certain teams, but taking off both maps from Seven isn't a regular occurrence in ETF2L, but Faint have managed to do it this season. And Ascent haven't been looking as good against in their match-ups against Seven, but as we'd said previously, they did tie with Faint in the final week, so I think we could be seeing a third map here. But I
I,
do rate Faint to take it in the end if it comes down to it.
I feel like other variables are going to come into this. Some people may have seen it on the old Twitter. Pappy is actually currently he's on holiday. He decided games aren't that important. He went on holiday, but then he realized no, games are important, and he's literally playing from Ombrak's house right now. So I mean, he's still in the game. They're not having to get a Merc soldier. Obviously, replacing Pappy, like he's an absolute powerhouse, and he's the main caller for Fate. If they had to get a Merc soldier, I'd be pretty worried for Fate in this matchup. But he is still playing, but he's in slightly unfamiliar situations. So he'll be on a slightly different setup. He'll be slightly less comfortable. I mean, he'll be playing on French ping, which might be pretty good or bad or not quite sure. I feel like just that little bit of change in the general situation might have Pappy slightly shakier, but I don't know if that's going to result in like a complete difference of results. I feel like it's something to have in the back of your mind, but it's not going to be the all or nothing thing. Definitely, if they had to get a Merc, I feel like that would be pretty scary for Fate. Because going up against a roster like Ascent, like each of the players, you know, going down the Ascent lineup, any one of them can just like toggle on, flick a switch, and just take over a game, just individually. You know, we haven't seen too much of that this season, but the capacity to pound is always there.
Yeah, he can't be too happy having to play on the cursed computer of a 6th place player, but as you said, it's not going to be too much of a problem for Pappy to adjust to things. I mean, he's played at several lands before, probably in much harsher conditions than the comfort of Umbrak's own home. So he should be able to adjust pretty quickly. He might be a bit uncomfortable, but it's certainly not going to be ruining his gameplay in any capacity.
I will say, I have been told by Ombrak that if Pappy does do anything good, any like big air shots, anything like that, it'll be because Ombrak did take the wheel and start fragging. So in honor of that, if Pappy hits anything significant, I'm going to scream Marmaloo, because apparently names do not matter.
Doing absolute justice to our savior of
He's a legend.
Premiership.
He's a legend of the game. What can I say?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like it's time to do some predictions. You know, they're gonna be getting started pretty soon. We got six. Who do you think is gonna be taking this first map?
Well, I believe, was this map picked by Feint?
Oh no, we have to find it out
dear.
now, won't we? Yes, this was the Feint pick.
Yeah, I thought it would be, and I think Feint are going to take this map out. I think they do have the edge here on Sunshine. I don't know about scores. We might see yet another golden cap for Feint, but
I reckon. All right, I like
yeah,
that.
they are very close. I'd say we'll see a golden cap with Feint taking it in the golden cap.
All right, I'm gonna be slightly more confident in your boys' Feint, something like a 4-2, possibly even like a 5-2 or something. I feel like there's a reason they picked this map. They know that, you know, Ascent, when they're on their game, can look pretty hot and can contest them. But I mean, they did get to decide like which team they were in terms of like A and B in terms of picks and bans. So they got to decide that they would play their pick first. So I feel like they would have put a lot of thought and been like, okay, you want to start off with like an easy map win, or you know, with a high chance of a map win, because if you start off like, you know, losing a single map in a best of 3, it makes it feel proper dodgy. But I don't know. I mean, let's find out, I guess, because we are going to be going live. This is ETFL. This is going to be our Prem semi-finals, Feint versus Ascent. Start out going out to mid here on CP Sunshine. No real off classes or anything so far. We're not going to start with any real shenanigans yet. We're just going to see Domo run to mid way
have
earlier.
asked for a restart of this round.
There you go.
So it looks like
it was all practice.
We've been baited out. Classic professional TF2 teams. They don't start at all on time. They restart. It's all a mess.
It is a mess. If it helps, I mean, Domo's to mid. I mean, we still don't even see Feint on this mid here. Domo's 40 seconds faster than the enemy team. He's so crazy, and they've restarted. Okay.
Domo infinite KD.
He's insane. He's insane. Apparently, minor technical problem for Lucas. He did apparently have a frozen screen for about 3 seconds, which ain't great. Okay, we're gonna try again. This is Feint versus Ascent. Prem semi-finals, please. No, suddenly die again. No, we're gonna be rolling out here. Right. Once again, to be Snakewater's gonna be the all-important first round. This time, Lucas so much faster. He'll be able to get just a little bit of early position as both these soldiers land on him. Polygon, a lot of damage, but somehow Lucas doesn't get taken down. Now Zebasai's getting taken down by these scouts as well. Nowhere near the fight. Doman's trying to push forward. He's got a lot of his team with him. Crucial arrows from Connor's going to keep him alive, but the rest of the Ascent, they've got to back up. It's a little bit all or nothing, and Domo even gets caught towards his choke. Scary now for Ascent. 2 players down, and Feint is walking all the way through this choke point. They're taking all this position. The scouts want to contest a bit on the side of Ascent, but not a lot they can do in speed. This is crazy. Feint, they're even starting to look towards this far left-hand side. Connor not quite got his Uber, about 90%. Happy's going to be jumping in as well. One rocket, but ultimately, it's going to be all the way in spawn, so the rest of Feint will be backing up towards second. Equally the situation. They're starting out with some fire this game.
Yeah, Ascent already looking to peek here just off this Gink pick. They've got their scouts coming in now. Zebasai's taken control of the point. Happy is trying to spam them out. But Connor has used and Seeds has exchanged with him. So he's actually using first and having to get out there after losing Lucas in the fight. A really action-packed round so far. There's no slowing down, and Ascent want to move off this pick on the Demo Man as well. Amps taking it in through choke. Lots of ground being made by the two soldiers here. And oh, with Classy and Tomas getting caught, they are gonna have to get out to second. Pappy's trying to see if he can clean anything up, but it's not gonna happen for him on mid there. And Seeds getting chased down to last by Amps here. Amps is gonna leave him be, so at least he gets that 50% Uber as a saving grace for last there.
He does, but is it really going to be enough at this point? Ascent, they're playing so fast, they've got themselves about a 25% advantage. Seeds, he's actually playing by the shutter, and if Ascent can just be pretty fast with this, they're building it. They want it so much from top right. Uber already gets used. Connor gets that flash immediately onto Dome, and they're going to start taking some position towards point, and looks like they're going to start playing towards this point. 95% now, and see so much cap on the soldiers jump forward to try and do this, but actually the heavy manages to pick up Condog now. Uber does get used for Seeds, but so many frags are going the way of Ascent. This is a dodgy little 3v3. There's a 450 health heavy to deal with, and I don't think it's going to be... Yeah, they just don't have the health on the side of Ascent now. That last little frag towards Domo is going to secure this last hold for Feint, but I mean, there was a real opportunity there for Ascent, but ultimately this is only going to result in about a 30% disadvantage, and pushing out of Sunshine last is not the easiest thing in the world. I feel like Feint, they're going to start peeking and prodding. They're going to see if they can start taking some position before Ascent are fully set up. This is going to be all about speed now, all about Ascent taking this position, taking this high ground, and there's so much damage. Seeds, he gets absolutely annihilated towards this corner. He will eventually just about trade for Amps, but does this really matter at this point? Connor's playing with his team, he's playing this Uber advantage, and this is backing up towards choke. They don't need to take any risks at this point, and Feint know it so much, they're backing all the way.
Yeah, really unfortunate there. I don't think Seeds had either of his scouts with him. I think they were fighting over more towards the point side, and he just got taken down on this little balcony area trying to get in second there. And Classy's already putting up his sentry on last. Obviously Connor has the 70% advantage. Seeds nowhere near the Uber, and it looks like they're electing to take this in up top. Using onto Demo, flashing Amps in the Uber. The sentry gun goes down straight away.
Oh my god, they're crushing them in this corner! They just walk completely across point. They're getting so much damage somehow. Seeds manages to live, but he's all the way towards spawn. There's nothing really he can do. Absolute crumble. And Ascent take the first round. Oh, that was such a fat Uber.
Yeah, I did not expect that off the pace of the mid. Such dominance from Feint on that first mid fight. It seemed like both soldiers went so deep onto Lucas, although Zebasai's jump did fall short. He got cleaned up really quickly, so only Polygon got some damage in. And it was all just a roll from there, but obviously Ascent winning it out in the end as we come into the second mid.
Really nice to have this nice little cushion round. This time it's going to be the Feint soldiers doing just a little bit more early aggression, but they take so much damage they can't really pressure, and Gomer actually gets his position up top. Eventually get one crispy little arrow, but he doesn't quite get it in time. Now it's just going to turn into scrappy DM fights. Two scouts up on the side of Feint, and it looks like Seeds wants to try and play with them, but I mean, this is scary. Two scouts versus a soldier and a scout, heals on both sides. When they can take down just one, focus fire just a little bit, it should be okay for them to take control of this mid, and it does actually seem like they're winning this purely off positioning. You saw how patient Feint were, going, you know, focusing their damage, focusing forward, taking the position on point, just forcing the set out.
Absolutely. Just had to scare Polygon off, and then once he's in the choke, waiting for an arrow at that point. All the heals are on the side of Feint at that point, and there's just no point trying to fight two scouts. You'd have to jump into them from the choke in Polygon's situation, and that's never something you want to be doing. Yeah, exactly.
Especially scouts of this caliber, right? If you jump into a 185 Tomas and Classy, you're asking for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't want to jump into a 185 open scout, but maybe that's just because I absolutely suck at the game. It looks like Pappy is trying to peek his way in through Cafe here. Not going to opt to do anything in the end. And Zebasai and Ging just spamming around this flank a bit. Tomas getting a bit cheeky in the choke. Everyone's just prodding around, but it looks like no plays. are going to be made, for at least for now. Ascent quite happy with their 1-round advantage here, 7 minutes into this game.
Oh,
happy.
Happy's in, jumping nice and deep, gets that one rocket, does actually force off Condog. That's super interesting. I think Condog's actually on about 110 HP there, so maybe a little bit of an unnecessary use there. Maybe desperate to not drop that, and the rest of Ascent can be flooding through chokers. Uber gets used. Oh, Lucas jumps in, one pipe towards Connor, but people can be able to chase him down. Uber's still out for the flank side, but Connor's actually going to get all the way out towards the flank. That's so good, and they even pick up Lucas from that overchase and Thomas as well.
Dear. Oh, that was so
good.
unfortunate. Seed's actually using that Uber just as his beam disconnected from the scout. He couldn't quite chase forwards with the scout speed there to get the kills he wanted in that Uber. He ends up dropping Lucas and Thomas straight after it fades, and now Pappy also getting cleaned up on the flank by Domo. They're just going to be walking through here from Flower. Seeds is already ready to get out. Gink is hiding for a little play, but they've already sniffed him out. And Zebasai going all the way around. He could catch them here if he's fast enough, but he opts to just go back. They're keeping...
That was actually sick.
Yeah,
that was so sick. Connor literally played them like a fiddle. Like, I think they got 3 frags just from people chasing deep on Connor, and he just played those perfect middle grounds. It is going to be an equilibrium situation, but I mean, they would not have got mid otherwise, and there's still a player down, so there's still opportunities for Ascent to try and go in. Hams is pressuring so heavily towards this Cafe. We'll be trading frags.
A 1-1 trade, but Zebasai's in behind onto Seeds, and he gets the 4th. Seeds having to use off that Uber. Connor's already way out. He should be safe here, not to use. Polygon's got the high ground protecting him. And now we have 100% Uber advantage on the side of Corndog. Although
Classy's actually somehow behind. Yeah, I mean, he gets spotted. Surely there's no way he hits his shot. No, doesn't happen at all. A little bit too much to ask there from the scout. And it will actually make things a little bit easier now moving through this choke point. It's only really the jumpers and the sticky traps they've got to be aware of. Ascent try and move through this choke point. Does look like they're just going to be going for spam on the side of flank. Just try and slow them down a little bit. It does look like they can just keep up just a tiny bit of pressure. Seeds will be just about getting his Uber. They actually, it's possible they might be able to bait Ascent into trying to push off a perceived advantage, whereas Seeds is actually just about to get his. I feel like with this round advantage, Ascent
Connor
might
looks
not be
like
too
he
keen
wants
on
to
it.
go. Or
I
Ants is
feel like
just
they know.
spamming out the sentry. Yeah, they must know now. They know Seeds has it now. If they were a bit faster, they could have fallen into the trap. But I think now they definitely know it's even. Classy keeps getting his sentry taken down, putting it in a weird position, but faint.
Oh, that's an
Ascent,
Uber.
yeah, Ubering in straight up.
It was a pure AMS Uber. They did manage to get the force at least. The repush could
Oh,
potentially
Pappy's
be on
indeed.
Lucy. Yeah, Pappy does jump, but he doesn't really secure that frag once again. Connor playing super well this game, and he's still alive now, moving toward this left-hand side, focusing down a couple players. They're just trading
Polygon's
frags
in onto
every which
Seed.
way. It's so scrappy, all back and forth, and I think Ascent, yeah, they're going to back up again, play this advantage. They've been playing really well around these Uber advantages. Every scrappy fight, it seems like Connor's really linked up with his scouts. It's something we've not seen always happen on the Ascent team, but they're really on it today.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just going straight away off that Pappy sack at the end of the trade. They got all the room they wanted to on left side. Not even to try and win the round, but just to get Polygon into that sneaky position, gets the crucial pick onto Seeds, and they have managed to maneuver themselves into a 60% advantage here, getting ready to use it from up top again onto Domo and Ams. The sentry gun does go down pretty quickly here. There's no stickies on point. They could play it straight away. They're all over here on the left side though, getting kind of cornered. Classy and Thomas on these off classes, just keeping them at bay. Although Zebasai is in with a big bomb, he's going to get cleaned up. And Seeds nearly has his Uber now. Ascent have got to get out, unless Domo can just cap this point off by himself, but it doesn't look like. And Connor is going for a back cap.
Oh
With
my
Ams?
lord. Oh my god.
What
with
is
Ams,
this?
they're on last. There's 2 players. He's got to win 2 1v1s.
There's already
Surely
3
this is
players
possible.
on
No,
last
there's
waiting
3.
for it.
No, not happening. No, they're dead. Okay. Optimistic, but I
Yeah,
mean,
and
shut up.
yeah,
They can-
interesting attempt. Keeping it interesting at least. And yeah, Connor with an extremely late death. They could even just take mid for free and use this advantage into second. It looks like that is going to be what they try and do as they move through Cafe side here. Ascent super far back. They might send Zebasai just to scare them a little bit, but they are all backing out of this choke. Seeds retaining his 100% advantage, and Thomas wants to go with it straight away through Flower by the looks of this. Happy goes down really low, but they get 2 frags from the combo here onto Zebsai and Credu. They could even use this into last eepily. This could be a last-to-last roll from this advantage from Feint.
Yeah,
and it looks like they're doing it straight from low.
Days, yeah, Uber's getting used to reload, picking up Domo nice and easy. They're just like capping up second. They've got a lot of point time to play, but I feel like they need just a moment. Focus some of these really close frags. Yeah, it's nice and patient right now. This big damage from the soldiers of Feint. They're going to be equalizing. I really like to see that. I really like the patient play of just, they knew that they were going to be forcing Ascent towards the point, so they played chill. They focused their close frags, healed up, and then those last little soldier bombs. Oh, beautiful.
An absolutely beautiful round by Feint, all in all. The last fight played perfectly, using all their advantage from coast to coast as we come into the third mid fight at 1-1.
Yeah, so it's going to be now equalized. 17 minutes left on the clock. A lot of time to play with. Lucas going super weak, but Doppler is going to be getting right back to full health. Now the soldier getting from Ascent. Yeah, they're going to be taking him straight down. They're both towards choke. So much damage from the Ascent soldiers. They're even taking so much focus fire now. Force Feint all the way back towards choke. Only 3 players alive. This was just a complete win of a mid purely based on soldiers, but actually Happy wants to try and jump in, but no. Getting crushed with these stickies from Domo. Really nice to keep a hold of that choke point, and it's actually going to buy them the entirety of second as well. We'll be in, once again, little equal Uber's situation, but Seed's actually trying to get out through the shutter. This is a little bit scary. I feel like they recognized it just in time, and back to last they shall go.
A little risky there, trying to bite off a bit more than they can chew maybe from Feint, but they recognize their mistake pretty sharpish and get out of there. A really nice mid from Ascent. All of Feint were kind of waiting on the high ground, being passive, waiting for the bombs, but the bombs still managed to reap destruction in the choke as Ascent managed to edge their way into lobby. Now they're gonna get the Lucas pick on the side here. Does go down to Amps and Polygon. This is a very nice pick for last, and Thomas is on Spy. If they know this, which they probably don't, then they will know it's a 4v6 fight, and they are going to use the Uber on the left side. Seeds uses off straight afterward. The sentries are going down. The picks are going the way of Ascent, although they do lose Domo in the fight. And now Thomas is trying to get the kill onto Connor.
How are they doing this? They're just running towards point.
They've capped the point.
That was about a 40% better Uber for Feint. Everything was scrappy, and like there was a spy going around. Like Domo died instantly, but I mean, Ascent just spread. Like I don't think anyone on Feint knew what the hell was going on. The spy was focusing down. The medic Ascent just walked a point, got the frags, played it easy peasy. 2-1.
I don't think I knew what the hell was going on there. I mean, that was chaotic. Lucas considerably faster to mid again, but he does take all the damage. Goes down really low as Polygon takes the first bomb in. Zebasai tries to go behind, but Gink is there to clean him up. And now all eyes forward for Feint as they bomb into the choke. Connor with a nice surf out just manages to survive, but they give up the mid because of it. They don't have the positioning. They're all out choke, and Feint wants to contest second here.
Yeah, they want it. They want it. They're getting forward to second. Ascent, they don't want to give it up. This is going to turn into some scrappy fights at the minimum. We do see what these Ascent scouts are getting pretty aggressive. Amps is just trying to keep some of this vision towards choke. They did. I mean, with the damage they've done to Lucas, it is always possible, but I feel like this is just asking for some kind of trade here. Do get Gink jumping in nice and deep. You'll get cleaned up though. No force there. And the rest of Feint, you know, they played scrappy. They got the opportunity for a sack, and now they're just backing up, playing a little bit chill again. Once again, though, it is Ascent in the driving seat. They do have the round advantage. This is looking pretty good for them. This is still Feint's pick, remember?
Yeah, this isn't looking great for them now as Polygon trying to take this in through the choke with Zebasai as well. They do both get cleaned up, and they do trade Thomas out for those 2 soldier picks. Happy looks like he wants to take a bit of space. He's letting his team in through choke here. He gets in onto Domo, who is alone right now above the point. Amps wants to take this Uber all to himself, and Seeds is just milking it out. This is a much better Uber for Feint. They're going to be chasing all the way, although Connor does manage to slither. Yeah, he slithers into dungeon.
This is by no means easy for Feint there. They do manage to secure that, but there's just one little scary moment there. We're playing for the low ground. It could have been pretty dodgy for them. There's a
And they
backlash.
know
We have
Amps
AMS
is
all the way
behind.
backlines.
Yeah, they're going to go so fast now. There's no Uber to stop them. They just need to focus down this heavy, which is going to swap off in the spawn. Now they're playing this point. Thomas getting a lot of cap time. Both soldiers from both teams bombing onto it to try and stop this, although the Amps wrap is coming in now. He is getting some kills in from behind, and Domo has respawned to help them fend it off, and they do manage to. Domo, the sole survivor, is going to jump forwards to second here.
That was actually
What
bad.
a crazy last fight there.
Yeah, that was so crucial. That timing for the Domo spawn, the fact he jumped in, immediately got that frag and got some damage for AMS to clean up with, that's super, super clean. Super nice there. They will at least keep a hold of this round, but I mean, they do have a little bit of a disadvantage, and I feel like Feint are going to be aware of this. It's fractionally over 20%, but that is pushable as long as they're speedy. If we see the kind
Amps
of
is in behind again, though.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's even towards point. They're now losing Geek as well. This is
And he's getting
scrappy.
onto Lucas.
Everywhere.
Oh, Amps is going crazy right now. Two big flank plays, and taking down Lucas is absolutely crucial. Seeds is not going to be wanting to use this advantage if he can help it now, after all his players have abandoned him to the spawn queue. Although Ascent can't exactly push out either. A couple of their players were lost in the ensuing chaos. So we'll end up back on even Ubers on last hit.
We will. We see some aggression towards top right. Like you said, this Uber advantage of 20%, it will basically dissipate to nothing. We do finally see some off-glassing on the side of Ascent. We see Produce sniping into a pause. Curious.
Very
Makes you
curious. I
wonder
wonder
exactly. I mean, maybe Umbrak's upset that the Pappy's losing. He's given a slap around the head.
he's getting jealous of the playoffs medals that these players are going to receive. He's just turned off the mains, turned off the power at the wall.
You never know. You never know. Right, I'm pretty happy to see Produce sniping for the minute, but I think it's pretty interesting. Like, there's about 12 minutes left in this game. Obviously, Ascent are leading in terms of round wins, only by one, so it's not super significant. But I was honestly expecting some more dominant mid fights and some more dominant team fights overall for Feint. It's looking really, really even, and I feel like if Ascent can take Feint's map, it's gonna put them in such kind of a high spirit, such a good mood to try and go into their own map, which is Metalworks second, and Metalworks is definitely, well, it's the first time it's played in, like, I don't know, 10 seasons or something. People aren't super practiced with it, so you just think Ascent won it. Oh my god, okay, we're unpausing, which means someone did actually disconnect.
Yeah, just have to get someone quickly back into the server. Yeah, as you were saying, Credion Sniper, they don't have to push out of this last. They are perfectly happy to wait for the opportunity to be gifted to them. Feint have to do something, and if Feint's opportunity goes desperately wrong, then obviously Ascent are going to take the opportunity to push out of last, but they don't want to be the ones initiating. They have that one round buffer. They have, obviously, all their players on last here, fully buffed up. Credu sniping just to try and make a play, and the pause actually does end here, as we see Lucas in really deep and alone on top right, so he does get cleaned up by Credu almost instantly, and Credu's taking a wider peek into the lobby now, as Feint basically skedaddle out of there.
I feel like this is good times for Credu. He can peek towards a shut, he can peek towards a lower if he wants. There's so much position. The center actually just walking all the way out. Feint and just playing directly behind point, and it's really scary. They can take so much damage here without really being able to do anything. Oh, the airshot towards Polygon. Okay, that's going to initiate this little fight here. Ascent, they're now going to start backing towards Shutter. No Uber being used for either team, so the patient play from Feint, along with a little bit of a swag airshot. Nice and good there, but still the opportunity to try and do something. This left-hand side is a little bit scarier with this sniper, but they're just going to use it. They don't care at all. Going to force off this Uber from Connor, try and get out as well. It looks like Thomas, he is going to get caught, so the repush isn't really on here. It's a little bit too difficult, and I feel like Feint are aware of that. Yeah, they're just going to have to play towards second, build up this Uber, and just, you know, try to lose anyone else in this moment.
Yeah, Ascent obviously probably not the opportunity they were looking for, unless they can pick off Pappy here, but the frag does go in his favour onto Zebasai, so we'll be seeing everyone kind of evening up onto last year, although Credu does get a nice headshot on Lucas and a headshot onto Pappy to take him down. So Feint going to give up on their lobby control, and a player has disconnected here. That was Tomas. They had to just quickly get him back in the game.
And there he is, just like that. Oh, it's great, yeah? Power of the future. It's good stuff. So, yeah, exact same position as a couple seconds ago. Credu already hitting those all-important headshots, just denying this, well, denying both angles, really. It seems to be Credu's doing some nice little rotating. Once again, they're towards this shutter, forcing Seeds to play this position kind of super close, but just around the corner. He's keeping himself out of sniper sightlines, but I feel like with the way that Ascent are moving around, it might be an opportunity once again. Yeah, Uber's going to get used through lower. They're going to take down Doma this time and even take down... Oh,
this is colossal for
such a
Feint.
bad Uber. It's absolutely awful. Even Zebasai dies there. Now, Soldiers jumping in, getting some decent damage, forcing these Ascent players towards point, but somehow the rest of the team, they're not quite in the fight. Tomas is playing so much towards the point, but... what is happening?
How are these players living? What is going on? Lucas gets the wall kill. There's 3 melee kills in the kill feed, people.
What are they doing?
What is going on here? It does get tied up at 2-2 after probably one of the most scrappy fights of the game, and they've all been scrappy. Obviously, the fight where Domo's the only person alive. Now everyone's meleeing on the point. When there was no stickies there, everyone just jumps on it straight away and gets their melees out. It's a weird one.
Feint has been grinding that like medieval mode DM. I swear to God, they knew this. They're big brains, and they've equalized as a result. So, fifth mid of the game, Feint Soldiers super deep. So many rockets going out. Connor can't dodge them all. He's going to get taken down. 2 swift rockets from Gink, and now the follow-up from Ascent. Looking pretty good. Once again, scrappy little fight. It's just going to be 2 players now on the side of Feint, and they have 0 position. We do have Gink all the way on the back lines. 102, it's going to be hard for him to do
and Lucas and
much.
Gink are just going to spawn camp Connor and Credu in this forward spawn. This is not the position you want your players to be in after a mid-fight.
This is optimistic, right? This is really optimistic. I feel like Lucas is going to die. He's not really going to be on second. He might not even be on last if the rest of Ascent just start moving forward.
Yeah, all he really did there was delay his own spawn, and that is not what you want to be doing as the class to be holding last with. You need those stickies on point. It looks like he will spawn in time, but Ascent going to take a free second.
It will be a free second. I mean, Lucas just only getting up now. This damage from Pappy does delay Ascent just a little bit, but I mean, he will end up dying. Gets focused down, so he's basically trading his life for a guaranteed having Lucas on last now. Lucas about to be up for the side of Ascent. It is equal, but I feel like AMS, you can see he's got that look in his eyes. He wants himself an AMS Uber. They're walking in. They're trying to take this position. Spamming just a little bit to take down this gun first. A little bit scared to go through this doorway, though. It might turn into a bit of a sack, yeah, especially now that Domo's lost his own life. Not going to fully commit here. I think they realized they were just a little bit too slow. I mean, losing one doesn't matter too much. They should be able to keep control of second here, or at worst go for a trade, but definitely decent for Feint trying to go up through this lower left.
Yeah, I mean, with no stickies on the shutter, it should be quite easy for them to at least take this first bit of ground, and looks like the damage is getting done to force all of Ascent out through the cafe area. Gink has come up on the Contra maybe to try and sort out these stalemates.
Is that Zebasai? Not Zebasai? Is that Shadowburn? No, that is Zebasai. It's also Shadowburn here in memory. It's beautiful. We have lock and load going on, I believe, on Lucas as well. They're going for these gimmick unlocks, right? And that is not a negative term. I love gimmick unlocks. I want to see some man treads in a second, right? They're actually sick right now.
Yeah, I love to see these banners trying to give something else other than the Uber to push off of. You can actually do something off the end of a trade if you get no picks, that sort of thing. But Ascent, getting Zebasai in behind, gets focused down by the scouts pretty quickly. Credu was trying to give him a little bit of support, but he values his life too much in the end. The smart play to get out there. And Feint look like they're getting close to choke here. Perhaps going to be using a banner to try and do a sack.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities you can do, especially with the conch. You go so fast, you get that health back from damaging people. So even just using it for the sake of sacking is really nice, just because you get that extra bit of kind of life, you know? You get a slightly better opportunity to jump into 2 185 scouts, and, you know, sometimes you hit the rockets. Not always, sometimes it happens. Does look like Feint, they're not quite in a position to do that, though. They're not feeling so much pressure as a few minutes ago when obviously they were losing. They are playing things a little bit equal. We do see, once again, Uber gets used through. Lucas just about getting flashing time. Really nice there from Seeds.
Oh,
he's
Connor
juggling the set players so much. Connor's going to get taken down instantly, so now it has to be just a chill moment for Seeds and the rest of his gang here. They've got to make sure they don't get collapsed in on. Their banner does get used, but really, what's it going to mean when Kratos just jumping in? Gets the damage, but doesn't quite clean up Seeds. The position has been taken by Ascent, so walking out through the shutter is going to be pretty hard, but ultimately, they can play the long game. All damage they do right now is permanent with Connor dead, and I feel like, yeah, Ascent are aware of it. Feint making the best out of what was a little bit of a scary situation there. They've built themselves up now a 50% advantage, and it could be looking pretty good to start moving towards mid here.
Yeah, that was the best Feint could play it. Gink got off his banner in the Uber. That means that even if there was no kills, they would have the advantage in the team fight, but they did juggle Connor in even. And it looks like there is someone hiding above Seeds. He does get forced. And now they are taking this Uber as far as they can into choke, but it looks like they're salvaging nothing with it. There's two players behind as well, Credu and Zebasai on the back cap. Credu is going to be trading. Yeah, he's got one.
Get a second hit. It's just Pappy. No, the other players are coming back. Pappy, he's getting the rest of his team. He's like, right, I ain't feeling this 1v1. Not happening. Not interested at all. And now they're going to move forward to mid. Only 3 players up on Ascent. And already in the choke point. Yeah, the damage is going to be looking good. They will be securing this, but only as long as it takes for Ascent to get the spawners, because they have that big old Uber jumping in. Pappy, he gets this little bit of damage towards Connor. Not going to be anything too much, I believe. There might have even been a crisp bit of less of just then. Not 100% certain, but Uber's looking good. No cap for Feint. They could be looking to keep moving forward. They can't wait forever, though. But they go.
Oh, Gink does a really high bomb, sinks those rockets onto Connor, and gets a brilliant force in the choke there. Seed's gonna scarp her out, save his 100% advantage. And they might even take this into block second. It looks like they will, using onto Tomas and Lucas. Lucas going super deep. But the soldiers of Ascent just dodging this Uber. No kills getting collected here by Feint. This is really terrible.
Oh, this is an absolute collapse. Feint are getting looped towards this shutter. There's so many players behind there. Even on last Neversize, just they're standing there. All these backlines. 1 rocket, 2 rockets. Only 1 player now. It's all on Pappy's shoulders. 28 HP. There's nothing he can do. Ascent. Oh, they crushed at the end of the Uber. That was so sick.
Yeah, that was amazing. What a terrible Uber from Feint, unfortunately. Going all the way forwards, and Polygon's like, you know what, I'll just go over your heads. They don't manage to clean him up for ages. He even gets more kills in the Uber than the entire Feint team did, which is just bonkers when he had no Uber of his own. And now Ascent picking up the lead again, 3-2 as we come into the 6th mid.
It's scary, you know, it's scary. A round down and only 2 minutes 50 left on the clock. Feint, they're going to want a good, strong mid here. They're playing slightly more passive this time, not going for that initial aggression. Picking up Doma, though, from these all important stickies from Lucas, so this is good now. Their opportunity to move forward is so much easier, not getting this space denial. And then, yeah, they're securing these frags as well. As much as they're going to be trading out Lucas, it's not really going to matter. Soldiers jumping towards Choke. Ams, he'll clean him up. He's got his beam. He's happy with his medic, but it will be Ascent moving all the way towards last. Once again, we're seeing the classic Sunshine idea of if you lose mid, it's so difficult to keep a hold of second. People giving a lot of respect to the teams just for the fact that, you know, people always say, like, on Sunshine, second, it's got to be a case if you've got to firmly hold it or firmly just get out. These middle grounds are really difficult to play with.
Oh, but with Classy having to stay on mid to capture that off, Ascent knew there were only 3 players here on second, and they've decided to fight for it. They are getting a lot of space. This could be their undoing, though. They could have had a safe bet on last, as the Ubers are traded here. Domo going to be focusing down Lucas. Connor's getting juggled all over the place in this Uber. The soldiers trading on the flank as well, and Feint have elected to just get out. This could be it for them. With 1 minute 40 left on the clock, they really need another round.
They do, but I mean, Ascent, they don't really want to wait. There was every reason why they could have just chilled them, but they don't want it at all. 2 frags already. Lucas, no way you can deny them for the choke. He's just getting destroyed by the 2 scouts. The deep bomb as well from Polygon forces this medic away from his scout, and now it's going to be all on Tomas. Nope, nothing he can do. The focus fire. I mean, there's only so much one man can do by himself, and now 1 minute 15 left on the clock.
Yeah, unless we
is
see...
alive, it is equal. This, I mean, we're gonna have to see one of these disastrous patented Connor drops at this point.
Yeah, or another legendary Feint coast to coast speed run round, because otherwise I don't think there's any chance. And Seeds is going to be making his way forwards with Lucas. They know that they have to take this out of lobby. They can't be waiting on last for something to happen, because Ascent are just going to wait here. They already have that round. And now Ascent uses off the Uber first. Seeds does pop off in return, although he drops Lucas from the Uber. Classy also going down, and all the frags are going the way of Ascent. This could even be a 4-2 game if they cap it off fast enough. It looks like it's going to be GG here. Ascent going to be taking the first map of our semi-finals.
I mean, it's incredible to see Ascent looking really, really on it. Like, specifically shouting out like the combo, how Connor's playing with his scouts. It's really good. They're super, super coordinated today, and I feel like they've really done a number on Feint. I mean, you would have thought, there isn't a significant DM difference, but just with the way that Feint like to play, they're kind of, very team fight oriented. They seem to win these scrappy fights more often than not against basically any team, but then they're giving them no space, and I mean they secure the first map as a result. It's definitely definitely gonna be interesting now going into the second map, going into Metalworks. Obviously Ascent's pick now, and it's really a map we've not seen a great deal of, only being played twice this season, and then not anything since season 17 or something.
Yeah, the last time it was played was donkeys years ago. It is definitely the wild card of the season, especially getting played twice when a lot of people wouldn't expect a new map to be thrown in twice when there's so many other staples, or what we'd consider staples, being played once this season. The 9 maps in 7 weeks is definitely a funky format,
I
and
feel like
we'll have to see which team has got the better end of the stick, I guess, as we come into Metalwork.
yeah, I do want to shout out before we kind of go too far ahead. I want to shout out that I am continuing my trend of I think every prediction I've ever made has been wrong. So it just shows that I just don't know what I'm talking about at all.
Congratulations.
I know. I feel like we can look at some numbers. Numbers won't lie to me. Numbers won't lie.
Yeah, numbers can't fool us.
Yeah, I think we can get some logs up on screen just a couple seconds. I'm gonna have a little read through myself without having looked at the logs, Bum. What are you thinking? Do you think it's gonna be any big numbers, any kind of standout players' performances you reckon that game?
Well, unfortunately, I'm one step ahead of you, but I'll pretend I'm
Are you
not and say
cheating?
I'll say that I predict the Amps went 25-9. I'll put that out there, and Domo with a big 320 DPM. Yeah, the Scout combo of Ascent really outperforming Tomas and Classy. Unfortunately, here for Fang. Lucas also with a big 20 deaths.
It's definitely in a team like Feint, where the demo man is so fundamental to how they play. Like, Lucas is a tank; he's named as such. I feel like getting 20 deaths in your demos, it's not necessarily a sign that there's something wrong with your demo, but something wrong with how your team is engaging in fights, or with how they're like approaching some of these situations. Usually, as much as some demos can like just feed and die and just be dumb, right? When it comes to like the top level play, usually a high amount of deaths on a demo is more a sign of something going wrong in the team than like an individual kind of player performance thing. Not to say it's like always, but I feel like with the way they usually do things, yeah, the team fights didn't feel on it. We saw some really, really crucial situations where Ascent would just Uber in and they'd pick up Lucas, and the second that happens, you've just got to think to yourself, okay, we can't really allow that to happen. He's too important of a player in terms of denying position, and if we're taking dodgy trades and we're losing our demo, it's just it's too scary, especially with how Ascent play. They love their AMS Ubers, and the fact that Feint are allowing them to get success with that, it is a little bit scary going forward. We look at some other numbers. I mean, pretty low medic death overall. Seed's only on 6, Connor on 8. A little bit upsetting from Siege's point of view. He had a whole 2 less deaths and 1 more Uber, yet his team loses. What more can he do?
What more can he do, especially with the saw kills in that clutched out round? A kind of funky stat, maybe less relevant, but always interesting to look at, is Zebasai playing that old style Roma. He doesn't need any arrows. He's got 108 medkits picked up. He's just doing his thing on those flanks.
Just abusing it, The thing is, every health pack you take, the enemy now can't take that, He's playing like meta brain, right? He's been learning from his time in Overwatch. He's doing that. He is your big brain caller now, presumably. Right. I think we do have a new connect, a new server hashtag new me. We're going to be seeing the teams warm up a little bit on Metalworks. I feel like Sunshine may have been a bit of a shock to the system for Feint. You know, obviously they picked them up because they thought they were going to win it. That's how picks and bans work. Now losing that and losing it, you know, to a it wasn't an absolute dominating Ascent, but it didn't feel like Ascent were really on the back foot at any point. I feel losing it in that way, Feint are going to be sitting there right now like, okay, this is a map we're not as comfortable in, but we need to start things off strong. They need to, you know, get themselves a round or two cushions, and then, you know, maybe dare I say, they could play slightly slower, play slightly less aggressive, you know, play slightly more into the fact that Ascent will go for these aggro Ubers with AMs. You know, I feel like once you take that into account and you don't have to worry about making things happen, it should be okay to at least get like trades out of that situation, you know, even if it isn't just complete deny.
Yeah, and I feel like on top of that, Feint need to be doing more work with their own Ubers. The two that I can remember making a real difference on that map there was obviously Polygon jumping over their whole Uber where they got 0 kills, and then the Uber on mid as they tried to chase, but they didn't have the scout in the Uber at the start, and Ascent just baited them all backwards, and Ascent often come out with more frags in the Uber when it's an Uber versus no Uber situation in advantage of Feint. It seems crazy. Like, that should not be happening when your players are invincible and the other teams aren't, but Ascent are making the most out of those situations and getting the frags off the back of it.
Little bit interesting. I'm having a look in chat here. It may be a case that Thomas is stepping out, maybe having some technical issues. We did see him disconnect at one point. I don't know, maybe something's weird with his PC. It's potential. Yeah, so he was actually playing on a laptop, and I think it's basically balked itself. It might be about 50 degrees where he is, and it's not looking good. So I think they're actually gonna have to swap in a Merc Scout. This is
Oh dear.
scary. Probably Thomas is on holiday as well. All of Feint are on holiday.
They need some better scheduling. They need a team manager to sort this out. This is ridiculous.
Where's
But
Dumpton
yeah,
when you need him, you know? What's going on with him?
exactly.
Jesus, come on, dude. So
Hashtag blame Dumtum.
it's going to be interesting to see who they get at this point. Obviously, Thomas, he is the newest addition to Feint. However, I feel like he's slotted into his role kind of pretty quickly. He's become a pretty fundamental player, and obviously, you know, they've had that whole season to get used to him. And as much as he's not maybe, you know, he's not up there in people's minds as like the most legendary scout in the game, it's difficult to slot into a team and just immediately like snap onto that role. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's nowhere near easy to come onto a new top prem team and just start taking officials off of 7. Like, you can't just be any old scout to do that, but for Feint here, you don't want to have a Merc in the semi-finals at the best of times. After you've lost your own map, even less. And I wonder if that's going to be really affecting Feint coming into the second map. If we
mental
might see,
resilience, you know,
yeah, if we might see
all
them being a
about
lot
that.
shaky.
Yeah, it's all about that, you know, staying in the game. See, right now they're not focused. They're not thinking, right, how are we going to play Metalworks? They're thinking, right, how are we going to get someone approved in about 3 minutes? Granted, I mean, it's Prem, right? So realistically, anyone who's around is probably going to get approved because this is semi-finals. I feel like, you know, there's not really a scout in the game that you could ask for and be like, oh, that's unreasonable. He should be playing this game. So I feel like things should be fairly okay, but you know, it does play on your head a little bit. Tiny little mistakes, you know, just when I was saying about Connor playing so well with his own scouts, now C's gonna have a different buddy to be playing with. Might cause some problems here, I don't know, but same time, they are swapping out Tomas for a reason. It might be the case that he really didn't feel like he could do anything. It was, you know, maybe he was getting like frustrated with the fact that his laptop was just like eating itself and dying. You know, might have been cluttering comms. Maybe all they need is just one fresh player and it'll be all good. Apparently, we might see the return of Feint Kunu.
Yep, looks like they've accepted Kunu or Koff in the chat here. Obviously, another really, really top tier pocket scout at the moment. I don't know. Would he be replacing a pocket scout role? Is Tomas on pocket scout?
So I
think he is.
Yeah, so Tomas is on the Pocket Scout role. I can't imagine they'd bother swapping Classy over, especially because Kunu has played with some of these players before, and I mean, you know, give him beam and he'll frag anyway. So I feel like it's it's not ideal to have your Pocket Scout change over, but it's also not ideal to have your Flank Scout suddenly play Pocket Scout doing something completely different, because then you've got like 2 guys doing weird stuff. So
Yeah,
I'd much rather have one guy doing weird stuff and, at least treat the rest of your 5 as just doing their thing,
yeah. They've got enough weird stuff with Pappy's situation. They don't need 2 people switching around.
No, it's not great.
And yeah, they're in capable hands with Kunu, obviously. He's not exactly an up-and-comer who they wouldn't want to be playing with. He's proven himself at the Prem level, definitely deserving to be on this server in the semi-finals. And hopefully it won't affect Feint too much.
Hopefully not. And he's already in the server. We got 6 in the other team. So I feel like we're in that time once again. We've got to give some predictions. So right, we were both wrong last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict the opposite of you. So at least one of us can be correct this time.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. Too kind. I'm going to say this one's going to Ascent. I think they're going to finish it off in 2 maps now. I'm going to say 5-2 in favor of Ascent.
Nah, mate, not a chance in hell is that happening. This is going to be Feint's return. This is going to be triumphant, the comeback. We see it all the time in CS. Every best of 3, everyone just wins each other's maps because picks and bans are weird. We're going to see some big plays from Kudu, and the rest of the team are just going to be way more in it. This can be a huge mid for Demo Men, right? If you can get there faster and lock down some of these choke points, like the little kind of lower left doorway and the top right doorway, it can be pretty sick to just get that early damage, get some early position with your soldiers, and then just absolutely nuke them when they try and go through. But gonna be going live now. So this is map 2. This is our Prem semi-finals. Feint versus Ascent here on Metalworks. We've just recently had a new addition, Kunu, playing here on the side of Feint. We're seeing how they approach this first mid. It does look like both demos. Actually, I was going to say similar demos, just a little bit earlier, getting no real damage, but a little bit more position towards lower. Both demos playing towards lower. They don't have quite that same vision, but they have slightly better access to heals this time. It's going to be all about this soldier aggression. Who does these big bombs, these big denies burst, and it is going to be the Ascent soldier taking this early position. And damage as well, actually. Polygon and Gomo both getting taken down nice and easily. Feint playing so much towards the valley position. They do have these 2 frags secured. Now they'll be walking up towards point. It's just going to be scaring Ascent all the way back now. Even Kraber getting picked up now on the flank. And this is going to be Ascent just trying to run away now. But he's having absolutely none of it. Picking up Zeverside once again. Connor and Ams, they're going to be running all the way to last. And on last, they shall stay.
Shout out to Gink for that really nice mid there, hiding in the house as soon as his team call the soldiers bombing. He knows that's his time to shine. He goes straight in, gets 2 crisp rockets onto Domo, and from there it's all on the back foot for Ascent, getting 1 kill cleaned up once after the other. And Credu actually is running all the way through the lobby here after Pappy gets caught off. So we're going to have a 1-for-1 trade on last, remaining even, as it looks like Feint looking to take some lobby position. Gink going in for another sack. Not going to get anything, but Classy is trying to clean up that damage. This is a double sack here. Getting some cap time and surviving way longer than he should. Does eventually get taken down. And Feint here just have to try and lock down lobby. And Lucas's cheeky trap does get them a nice pick. Credu taking a wide angle on Sniper, but Seeds already knows he's gone all the other way around. And Amps is going to trade with Pappy once again in lobby here. More and more scrappy fight.
Crazy from Feint. Yeah, they're walking all the way to last. They're even actually starting to cap the point. Only now does Seeds have to use his Uber. It's about a 15% better Uber here, but the spawners for Ascent are just not coming in. We're seeing some deep bombs from soldiers trying to take some position towards point. Even getting cleaned up makes this pretty difficult though, and we still have some spawners coming into the side of Feint. They look like they kind of want to commit. I mean, Classy didn't quite get the memo. There's too many people playing towards the shutter, and he will be dying here.
Lucas is going for the back up.
He even takes out Polygon. I mean, that isn't impossible to go for a repush. He will get cleaned up. Looks like the rest of the team wasn't quite feeling that over-aggression, but still looking pretty good. 5 versus 5. I'll be playing towards this little doorway. He's going to try and deny things, but the beam isn't on him. What can he do? He'll be backing up all the way now to mid as Ascent regain control of second.
So many crazy fights here. That looked great for Feint as they got their about 60% cap time on the last point before they even had to use their Uber, but obviously spawners from the previous fight, Ascent get them literally right next to them, whereas Feints have to walk across half the map to take part in the fight. and eventually it was that battle of attrition that came out in Ascent's favor. Now it looks like Seed's trying to take his combo through the alleyway, getting spammed out from the point here. As Kunu going forwards, trying to make the space, takes a lot of damage and gets cleaned up by Amps, and Feint are getting out.
I feel like, you know, there's one thing that players know on Metalworks, be you kind of open or prem, it's the fact that Valley can be really good to do some high bombs from soldiers. You've got such a massive wall to kind of double jump off that it's pretty sick. It did look like Feint just wanted to take the position and not commit. Now, though, Lucas is getting kicked out on the flank, just a little bit too far forward, not aware of where the rest of his team was. This is actually pretty scary. There's no demo here. Even Gink is just a little bit too far forward. We'll now get to the rest of his team, but Ascent, they're walking through. They want to start trying to take some position towards mid. Spawns are coming in for Feint, though. It does look like literally kind of worst case scenario. This will be a bit of a dirty trade, but I mean, Ascent have been working some of these trades right now. It just seems like neither team quite wants to commit just yet. It's just, it is basically just the war of attrition. They're just playing super slow. The first frag does actually go the way of Feint, but the position goes the way of Ascent, so the repush surely has to be on by Feint if they can just get through this doorway.
That fight was so slow that the first frag in it was by the player that had respawned and walked all the way to mid. Lucas picking up Amps, but Credu does eventually get the return onto Pappy, and they've forced all of Feint into this low ground in Valley here. They are going to opt to get out of Alley, and it looks like they're going to reset.
Definitely not the easiest situation. It definitely seemed like Feint had a few times where they kind of wanted to go, kind of didn't, and they just got stuck themselves in a bit of a weird position. So, you know, it is what it is. They only lose one round in one player, which is now easily respawned. So it's going to be a sense opportunity to move towards Valley, take some of this position. We see these massive 300 IQ stickies from Lucas. I feel like he's bored of getting bombed high by soldiers. He actually misses the jet. Does just about hit Polygon, denying his jump. He should be able to get cleaned up fairly easy. Yeah, nice little rocket from Pappy there. So good stuff making these predictions here, knowing exactly how people are going to be playing. But the counter-aggression from Feint isn't the easiest here. I mean, they don't have a great deal of options in terms of getting onto this mid from second.
Yep. It seems not much that can be done in terms of sacking onto that second point other than exactly where Lucas predicted. So setting up that trap, obviously very nice to keep them at bay. They're not going to be looking to get into mid here. There's not much they could have done from it. It's only a soldier pick. It wasn't quite as good as the demo man pick that Ascent initially took this midpoint off. So they're resetting. Lucas is setting up his sticks in the alley again, getting a bit of control over it with Pappy here. Actually, they get a nice rocket onto Amps, but they're separated from their heals, whereas Connor is right behind his team. So they do elect to get back. They can spam alley from afar, and Polygon going in for a big bomb, but gets shut down again. Gink trying to make a play off this in-house, and he does get Zebasai actually.
It's good for Gink, but Credu in that distraction did actually get completely behind. He's actually all the way toward the last, and he's full HP. So now, just as Feint are going to start moving forward, this is going to be a little bit of a chance. As long as Ascent can weather the storm a little bit, Credu might be able to get back in here. He has been spotted though. Fraction, he doesn't finish his frag towards Gink now, so Feint are going to be brought back. Credu on the back lines is going to be a known entity, so they should be able to clean him up fairly easily. Is he do some kind of magic? No, not going to happen at all.
But the fight on second is already fully underway. Yep, they were using that distraction. They knew some players were going back for Credu. And now Domo's got a lot of room, but Classy just comes up behind him. A clean two-shot from the scout. Although Connor has used his Uber on point. Seeds hasn't even used yet. He gets about a 70% better exchange here.
Oh, this is so scary for the entirety of the combo of Feint. They're getting so juggled. It does look like the scouts are trying to commit towards Lucas, but the soldier's still... Oh my god, he's getting bobbled again. Okay, right.
Dear. And Gink...
Thankfully, the flank is going to make up for it, at least taking him down, but this is not looking good for Feint at all. They have no medic, they have no demo man at all. This might be an opportunity for Ascent to just steamroll straight through the last, but I think they're just going to play a little bit calm, get those BPMs down, build up the Uber, and play their advantage, which I feel like it makes sense in this situation, right? They need just a few seconds. They're not quite sure the spawn is a full Uber advantage. Well, okay, so it's only about a 30% Uber advantage, but it should be enough here as long as they can get a nice clean entry to last.
Yeah, I think if they had rushed that, those spawners would have come in just in time. I feel like it's the correct play to wait for Uber. Gink got so unfortunate there, missed quite a few rockets onto Connor, he jumped in on him on the tail end of that Uber. This could be a completely different story if he'd managed to finish it off. As now Domo coming in through the flank with Amps. They use very late. The sentry hasn't gone down yet though, and Seeds is about to get his Uber on 90%. There is cap time on the point from Amps, but Domo gets cleaned up. Zebasai is in onto Seeds and gets the force on the end of that fight. That is brilliant from Zebo. As long as they get that full Uber advantage out of Seeds' Medigun, then they still definitely have a good chance here.
I mean, it's difficult there. I mean, Seeds literally just only got his Uber there. I believe he was holding right click. It just kicked over as he got bombed. There's a world where he actually goes down there at 99%, but like you said, you know, they managed to secure second off this. This is about a 20% advantage for Ascent, but with the building from Feint, it's going to be so hard. I feel like the way that Ascent play things, they're going to want to just run at least one scout in and try and make the most out of this. You can see they're already moving towards the flank. You know, they're telegraphing it, but they don't care. They've got this 20% advantage, but they really have to go right now. There's so much space they have to take. The soldiers jumping deep, trying to force things away. They might even be going for a little fake here. That's nice. I mean, they do lose amps in these stickies, which now makes it much more difficult, but I love that position being taken by the soldiers, just trying to psych things out a little bit, but they've just overextended us a little bit too much. They've lost two already, these rockets. Not quite connecting towards Polygon, but even he's going to be dying. Oh, it's looking so good and suddenly so bad for Ascent. 3 players down. They still have the Uber, but what little is that going to do? But they can't really even hold mid here.
Yep, really nicely played from Feint.
Oh my lord.
And Domo gets cleaned up as well. They just dodged that double bomb absolutely brilliantly and then baited Ascent in, got those 2 kills. But now it's all chaos on the second point. The Uber's traded off. Freddy's going to pick up Pappy, who was in a bit too far forwards. And now Seeds is getting juggled by Polygon in the house area. Although Connor is caught in the drop down. He's 1 health. He's escaping out lower. He's got both of his scouts with him to protect him, but a chip shot could kill him at this point.
How does he get out?
He does manage to get away. That's crazy.
Oh my god, okay, that's sick for Connor, but the fact those hills were nowhere near the fight does mean that they lose 2 extra players there, which Feint did not have to, with Seeds keeping that beam on people. So actually, Freddy's down for another 10 seconds. Domo's playing close. If he goes down, this is going to be so hard for them to hold this. He's desperately trying to live towards low, but one punch is going to be taking him down. So now, Feint can start looking to play towards point. They have so many frags. They're just taking this moment to heal. They know how the spawns are working on this map. 13 seconds before the Ascent players are in. Feint do have some time to play with, not too much though. Their advantage isn't really too much. They're 95%. Losing class is not going to make this any easier as well. A little bit questionable. They've just got to instantly use this now. All their players are getting flashed. Connor tagged these all the way towards spawn. They're trying to drag players towards point. This is so scrappy. Connor now 96%. They're going to be securing frags. They're going to be securing this Uber. And this might be so disastrous. 2 players already down for Ascent. Not quite knowing what they want from this Uber. But the soldiers jumping straight towards last. 1 rocket, 2 rockets. Oh! What an air shot from Sebo! Denying him completely and allowing Ascent to just steamroll all the way forward to second.
Gink nearly salvaging what his team could not. You think maybe if Feint had gone a little faster in that 5v3 situation, it could have all been different, but they decided to wait for the Uber. Maybe in a situation where it was less wise to, all those spawners came up, and that's such a difficult fight to win there in the end. With just a 15% advantage in 6v6, I would not prefer that fight to a 5v3 no Ubers situation. But in the end, that's where we've ended up. Seeds has managed to get himself another Uber charge advantage, and he's going deep with Kunu. Manages to pick up Domo, Zebasai as well. They're fighting the other scouts in lobby. Connor just about doesn't get the Uber. He dies before he gets it.
That's so bad. They're even losing Polygon 2 players now. And between them, they don't have enough health, surely, to do this. We even have one scout going all the way towards last. Yep, dragging Freddy to point. That'll be all that they wrote for that round. Feint of a 20% advantage. Doesn't even matter. All that holding. Feint's going to be securing this first round.
Yep, I guess everything I said about letting that advantage build was wrong. Maybe that was the play in the end, and they do manage to cap out our first round after 13 minutes of play. We're going to be going into the second mid here. It'll be very interesting if both these teams win each other's maps.
Definitely will be, especially going into Process as a decider, such a big DM map, but we're going to be focused on Metalworks for the time being. This time, Lucas playing towards top of his soldiers, jumping nice and high, nice and early. They're forcing the rest of the Ascent towards the valid position. If they can keep them towards this choke point, it'll be looking super good for them to keep the damage going down, prevent them from really walking in. And Zebasai's attempt to try and buy some space for his team, not really happening. Polygon does slightly better, but he's going to get cleaned up. The damage dealt I mean, it doesn't really make any difference. The frags can be secured by Ascent. They're now just 2 alive. Tradu, Connor walking all the way back to last. Another really good mid here for Fate, and even Gink is just a little bit towards last, trying to make things slightly more uncomfortable. Doesn't look like he'll be sacrificing his life. He'll be content to just play towards second and start peeking and prodding. But you see Pappy
Connor's taking
get one
big
rocket.
damage.
Ooh. Connor,
Oh,
he's all
Gink's
the way
in.
towards spawn.
Oh, how does he live?
Oh my god, saved by the... What? Connor used his spawn. I didn't even see that. How did that happen?
I wondered,
Oh,
yeah, he took... I saw him take knockback from the rocket without taking damage. Of course, I should have figured that out. But now, obviously, 100% advantage for Seeds coming in through the flank. Credu's getting focused down straight away. Sticky's getting knocked off the point straight away, but no kills with the Uber. Who knew? And Classy getting so much cap time. They just need to pick up these frags on the point. It's a 3v4 in favor of Ascent, actually. And Domo is so low. Lucas isn't getting Connor either. Everyone's just managed to stay alive. Gink hiding for another sneaky back cap like last round, but they're going to be leaving the Putis standing firmly in the center of that point. Gink's figured it out. He's just going to go and try and get a kill on second by the looks of it.
No, I think he's just gonna walk around, just kind of doing whatever he wants. He should have been called now. I mean, things aren't looking good here for Fate at all. They even lose Pappy. Obviously, they did lose Season, now Gink as well. I mean, that's a little bit scary if you are Fate. We see Zebasai.
He's so far forwards.
He's just doing whatever he wants. He's just dancing around. He doesn't care at all. Getting all this position, getting all this info for his team. They now have 80% advantage. And I said, I mean, they're a round down, but there's no reason why they can't just look to take second for free and get some big old Uber advantage straight to last here. The only things really to be worried about is some of these sticky traps coming up from Lucas and just a little bit of spam. But, I mean, there's nowhere there really to jump. It looks like Ams might just want to go all the way.
Yep, with a 30% advantage, this might be the opportunity to equalize. Gink, they still haven't capped second, and he's hiding in this forward spawn. He hears the stickies getting placed under his feet. He's going to switch back, and in that time of them having to cap second, Seeds has got his Uber. So, in the end, maybe trying to go a little bit too fast. Ends up slower in the end. It's the tortoise and the hare. Classic fairy tale.
Classic. You hear every day of my life, I hear, we've got ourselves some equal Ubers. We've got a gun and a sniper up on the side of Feint. So, you see, once again, Gink running this conch and black box. So, now we're going to see some nice little opportunities for Feint to try and make something happen here. You know, we talked in the previous map about kind of conch trades and obviously conch stacks. We do just see the sniper getting mowed down towards this corner. Actually, getting some decent damage towards his soldier as well, so that's one frag already. Opening up this right-hand side just a little bit. This gun is still up. I feel like as long as Ascent can try and spam this down, there might be a good little chance to try and get someone through. There's not even anyone towards this right-hand side from the defending point of view. It's an opportunity here. Seeds, he is so far away though. It's super difficult to get a soldier in a position where he can actually jump through and just take that down. But actually, someone's going to be using through. Yeah, big old Ams Uber. Getting traded once again. Much better for Seeds this time. So good, but the juggles aren't quite going the way of Lucas this time. So
Domo wants to go in again off the back of it, but the sticky trap from Lucas manages to take up Connor just as he's walking through. The frags are going the way of Ascent, but Domo is just standing on the point. Gink's going to clean him up. Zebasai is just jumping in. They know Polygon's hiding here underneath this ramp, and they're going to clean him up. What a huge play from Lucas with that sneaky sticky trap. As soon as Connor's through the door, he is blasted into smithereens. And now Feint, they have a sizable advantage and the second point, so Credu, oh, he's switched off the spy. I thought he was maybe going to go for a play.
Oh, I like this from Ascent though. They don't care about your Uber advantage because they got player advantage with their slightly faster spawners. They're actually going to deny this second cap. They don't want to make this anything easier than it absolutely has to be, so you do have this 100% Uber now coming out. He has used his contact to be so much faster. It's going to be super scary. Don't even killing himself. Connor, he's just sprinting away with his scouts. Desperately going to try not to get caught in. It does look like Feint has just about been slowed down. So Ascent have weathered the storm now. Picking up Lucas, at least trading with Polygon. So it's not too bad here. Connor's dancing around. He's surfing everywhere. He hasn't quite got his Uber yet. This is really scary.
Classy's onto him. How's Classy fix him up?
Oh, it's scary. It's so scary. People are out for actual blood this game. We do see Seeds backing up with Kunu, so they won't be able to keep control of second, but they got the Uber advantage again. And obviously in all of this, Feint does still have their round advantage. I feel like what's happening in this game is that scouts are sitting there, they're picking one guy, they're just saying, I'm going for you. I'm not going to stop running until I get you specifically. And I mean, so far, it does seem to kind of be
Credu's hiding next to Lucas. Lucas is going to get taken down in lobby. A sneaky little spot there from Credu. Amps now coming in to try and help him out as well. Seeds is going to get up. He retains his big advantage. Lucas very confused in chat about the hiding spot. And once he respawns,
he's not knowing
it looks like it's going to be too late. Because Classy has already decided to pick up the engineer. They want to park this bus on last. They have the round advantage. What a crazy game so far, eepily. The most back and forth thing I've seen in such a long time. These fights are ridiculous.
It's absolutely crazy, but like you said, it will be a moment for Fate to relax a little bit once again. Last time we did just see Ascent more or less, you know, take the bull by the horns and just use on through, not caring at all, going for these trades. And I feel like as long as Fate can get themselves set up, like surely they have to be able to abuse that in some way. They've got to make things just a little bit dirtier, get themselves a better Uber, and at least deny some of these opportunities. I mean, you know, in that position where they traded, a slightly different juggle from Lucas with a shot Connor into the skybox would have guaranteed got that frag. It was only really that one stick trap which secured things, but once again, Uber gets used on, and does take a little bit more damage before, and actually it's a bit of a disaster.
It's
these
so
stickies.
terrible.
Yeah, even picking up Polygon now, so this is full Uber advantage, player advantage, all kinds of advantages. As Fate walk forward towards second. No one really in a position to back up from Ascent, but Fate's enough to go through the motions. It is a deep bomb from Lucas. Getting this nice damage, but no frags can really be secured here. Dome actually jumping all the way towards the flank and not really taking any damage at all. He's now looking to try and re-push through the flank here. Zebo is behind these stickies from Dome. They're looking so secure. He's denying so much on this shutter. It's absolutely sick. 2 frags already. I mean, they do trade one of their own, but there's no reason why they can't just look to keep moving forward here. They have slightly better heals, but only Credu, which is really weak. Gink is going to be pretty scared here towards points where Ams is going to go. The 14 players, 40 stickies from Domus, looking super good, playing so much time. And they're going to equalize now. 1-1.
It's another failed feint Uber, eepily, just as I was mentioning in the first map. They use their Uber, they don't secure any frags with it. Zebasai got behind them in their own Uber as well. It just absolutely sowed chaos in feint. They couldn't get anything forwards, they couldn't get anything that was going behind them. They just end up being pincered and just losing players after the Uber. So bad for them to keep wasting their full Uber advantages like this. And now we're all tied up for the third mid, which is very slow, but now we have Polygon up in the skybox in this cheeky vent spot.
It's a Batman mid. Now he's jumping deep. He's going to do something big. Nope, he gets taken out. Trades with the scout. Alright, fair enough, but Seeds is going to get cleaned up by Zebasai. So the heal's now going the way of Ascent. No, nothing else really, though. Honor's going to be trying to get out with his scouts. He's going so weak. He's going to be, locked towards his little doorway. He's going to get cleaned up as now just going to be Ams here. And I feel like Ams is going to be feeling it a little bit. You know, he's like, well, you know, I've already lost everyone else here, so I might as well just run forward, take down Lucas. Crispy little 2-shot there. No reason why maybe he's going to start peeking forward a little bit more. We did see Seeds die much earlier, so he doesn't actually have the Uber. And with Lucas still being down, maybe Ascent just gets some spawns. Maybe they just walk all the way in.
Yeah, maybe they do try to, but Connor is spawning on last. Their heals aren't not going to be there for quite a while with the rest of the team. Seeds has a 40% advantage moving into house with Pappy now. And Amps and crew are sneaking around under point. They do decide to back off here. And now it looks like Seed's going to be moving towards underpass to take this with his team. They haven't used for a very long time. They're getting so much ground. They're into lobby with the Uber. Domo going down. Kunu chasing with the tail end of the Uber all the way into last. They're not going to get more frags than that, but they do get the second point and a demo man pick. But the Ubers have flip-flopped now, and Connor finds himself 100% advantage.
He does. They have actually spawned Credu with a heavy just for a second, presumably to deny anyone going for a cheeky little sack onto Unlock, but it's not going to happen. Domo's going to be up now as well. They do still have about 50% advantage. Taking the time to kill these stickies, but I mean, there's not been a great success rate of people using out and getting any real significant frags. We do actually have a fight towards the flank. Gink fractionally losing to Credu there, so not looking too good here. Ubers are dwindling though. I mean, after some point, they just got to start looking to go. They do pick up Happy. They even take the time to clear up these stickies. I mean, okay, so they will secure the second point. They will lose their Uber advantage. Still got a player advantage though, so a patient play from Ascent. It is still going to keep working. Classy dying on the flank. That's definitely questionable. Because now it might just be Ascent's opportunity to just take the position with these soldiers. Lucas looks like he wants to go for this trade. Yet Ubers are going to get used, at least for seeds. Now Connor about 40% better in this trade, but surely there's nothing Feint to do to stay in this, and Lucas might even die. He's getting sent all the way up, and he will get cleaned up with these stickies from Domo. So looking really nice here with 2 down on the side of Feint. Ascent moving all the way towards this flank, taking this position. They're going to start moving through, possibly even lower. Yeah, Feint is scared.
Yep, and that Uber charge in mid. Ascent just had much more useful players to be Ubering on around them at the time of the Uber popping off. Seed's getting a bit caught away from his scouts, getting caught on the other side of the Ubered players of Ascent. Unfortunately has to let them go just so he can get out with his own life. Now we see Classy sniping on last and Kunu putting up a sentry in the corner. Gink's just checking out lobby, seeing what Ascent's progress is, as Feint are going to let their Uber charge advantage go.
Yeah, I mean, it was so tiny, but it was only about kind of, 10 to 15%, and it's such a big last to get through. You got to deal with a sniper, so you got to use early. There's a gun you got to deal with, and honestly, if they're just going to go for these, oh my god, Polygon's jumping in. Sorry, he's getting a bit of damage. No frags, nothing too much to worry about there. Full shout out to little Surf from Classy, keeping himself alive. It's always nice to see, but like I was saying, really, with Ascent, I feel like a 10% advantage doesn't really matter, but they just keep going for these trades anyway. It makes more sense to buff people up and just kind of work through things at their own pace. We do have some opportunities for Classy to start peeking now towards this shutter. It's going to be hard for him, though. I feel like these sniper angles are too well known, even with a relatively uncommon map.
Yep, he's going to give up. Zebasai's got very deep in the lobby. Gets caught out there. He has switched onto Scout while they have a sniper here from Credu. Going to be peeking this main shutter door, whilst Am's taking in from the left side. He gets dropped by Connor to the sentry. Seeds has not used for a long time, and now has a literal 90% better Uber. But there's no way you're chasing through that tiny little corridor. Polygon in big. He gets headshot in mid-air. Oh no, it's the crits of the Frontier Justice, actually, by Kunu. And Domo also getting cleaned up in lobby. So now Feint going to be trying to move forwards through the lobby area, chasing all of Ascent out. Amps hiding in the corner is going to go for the backcap. He gets spotted, so he does elect to get out of lower and run away from underpass. Oh, the headshot onto Classy. Very nice.
It is very nice. It does open up some opportunities here. They do still have Zebasai on Scout, so the Scout missing, we have an opportunity for some soldiers. The body shots rack it up as well. Yes, no Scouts now on the side of Feint. Surely you can contest, even with that conch being used. It ain't going to make any difference here. And now, these spawns only just coming in. About another 6 seconds left on Kunu. There's opportunities to start walking forward here. This is a little bit of a new advance, about 15%. They're going to move forward. Seeds have to play all the way towards spawn. Now, though, there's no sticking towards point. They can start playing towards the AMS. He does stand on it, but just as he does that, Seeds does use his own Uber. So, no frags at all from this Feint Uber so far. And if they can keep it this way, it's going to be looking really good for us. And Domus just up extended point, putting stickies there. But he
and Polygon is still behind. Polygon was behind in spawn. He plays the point as well. Now it's Gink on the low ground. If Ascent can get this rocket in, he definitely has a chance. Credu running all the way in. It's Credu versus Seeds on last here. Seeds is going for the swords. He gets one, and Lucas will help him out. Seeds actually finishing off the kill by himself with the crossbow. Brilliant play from the Feint medic. It's crazy fight after crazy fight. Eepily. Ascent are just so willing to not even have an advantage and use their Ubers into last and come out on top or so close to on top every time they do so.
I feel like there was a moment there where, if Credo hit that shot, I would have screamed and my neighbors would have issued a noise complaint. Didn't happen though, so it's fine. I won't get evicted anytime soon, but Uber advantage is here in the side of Feint. Connor does just like get hit, but not in time to save AMS here. Zebo as well going down now. It's not looking too good. Lucas will at least get piped up a little bit, and we do have Seeds going down in this entire engagement, so way more fragging players on the side of Feint, but the heals on Connor's looking good. Credu's really warming up his sniper aim.
Yeah.
He's hitting some of these crucial shots, and they're securing themselves an Uber advantage, a player advantage. They can walk back and forward, and Ascent, Yeah, I mean, I think I've said the phrase scrappy fights about 40 times so far this map already, but they are doing really well off the scrappy fights.
That
Even
shot
with a
from
sniper.
Cradu was a lot more crucial than a lot of people might realize, with Connor being actually alone under the point. He had about 30, 40 health, getting chased down by a scout, and Cradu hits that clean headshot on the scout to save his medic now and keep this small advantage. But we know that Ascent are not at all adverse to going off tiny advantages. They're even peeking into last now. They want to get this sentry gun down before it's a level 3, and they will do so.
Oh, this might be it. This might be the all-or-nothing push. Cradu does go down instantly. Uber's about to be up, but... Oh my god. Kunu, the sniper main himself, takes down 2 and completely stunts Ascent's ability to push. Now it's 1 minute 20 on the clock. This is looking pretty scary. I mean, Fate, they kind of have to coast here, whereas Ascent... No, they go to use in, but Goma just gets dropped. This is so bad. Much better Uber proceeds. And this might be everything that Fate's looking for. Polygon does look like he will just about get cleaned up here. And even Connor's going to be dying to these stickies from Lucas. It's not looking good at all. Ab is trying to salvage things, take down Lucas, but nothing else does he get. And
Cradu has his last-ditch effort on Spy. He's waiting for this second point to get capped up, and he's making his move. Oh, the scouts are too fast for him, and the medic moves at that speed as well. And it seems like they know. They're having a look for Cradu now.
They 100% know, but they don't care. Surely at this point, that Spy being behind doesn't really mean anything. There's still a player down. Zebatai still in the spawn queue, so there's only 4 in front. This needs to be the absolute perfect coast to coast. It's 25 seconds. I mean, they need to start moving already. Like, they cannot wait. They cannot, like, play around Spy. They cannot play around anything at all. 20 seconds. They need to just walk through the shutter, through this doorway, and just, I don't know, somehow get all the way towards last. I mean, 15 seconds is getting nearly impossible. The damage is pretty good. Domo does pick up one, gets traded himself. They need to start playing these one player towards point to start walking all the way towards last. It's 6 seconds left on the clock. They're just a little bit too slow. We see one scout walk all the way. Uber's up, but it won't mean anything as we will be going to a golden cap here.
What an action-packed game. Usually we see Metalworks playing a lot slower than this, especially with teams so new to it, not quite figuring out how it works, but these teams seem to have got it down to a T so far. They are doing absolutely brilliantly, getting such close fights, especially on last eepily, with just 1 or 2 players alive, particularly Seeds clutching it out at the end of that second round against Credy, was it, on Sniper?
Yeah.
We've had a lot of big plays this game.
Been exciting to see, but I mean, you know, what does it really mean now? Because they will be going into their golden cap and everything's basically reset. It doesn't really matter what's been going on this game or even the game before. This is the cap, the one round which Fate need to stay in this game. You know, one bad mid, one, you know, dodgy little bomb or kind of losing Lucas too early might just cause the end of their ETF2L run this season and push Ascent into grand finals. But there's a couple little discussions going on. I believe there may be some minor technical problems that they might look to change server again.
They're arguing about who gets the tiny ping advantage of one European server versus another European server. I believe the first map was played on Feint's server, and they've swapped to Ascent's, and now they're debating who gets to play the Golden Cap on their server. So we might be switching back again. Who knows?
Who knows? I have no idea.
Petty arguing in chat.
I feel like while they work out that, we can have a look at some numbers here. It wasn't 1-1. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't the fastest in terms of rounds, but there were a lot of fights going on. I feel like it might be interesting to see exactly what that meant in terms of just the raw stats. Right, have you looked at the numbers this time?
I have not yet, no.
Right, give me some predictions. Who do you think was a significant player there?
I predict that this time it was Credu. I think him on Sniper, he was getting a lot of nice shots in.
Okay.
And
all right. Is that the end of what we thought? Right,
that's
hit some shots on Sniper. Excellent. Okay. Well, I mean, he did go 19 for 9. Shout out, you know, not up there in the damage, but it's scout class. Who really cares at all? 19 for 9 is pretty significant, especially when basically the rest of Ascent did actually go, only the scouts for Ascent did go positive here, whereas things were a little bit nicer on the side of Feint. So definitely interesting to see exactly what happened there. I feel like a really important statistic is the fact that Seeds had 17 Ubers to Condog's 13, and yet it was still a 1-1.
Yeah, absolutely. Feint not making the most out of their good situations that they end up with. They can engineer themselves advantages so well. They are cleaning up Connor quite often at the end of fight. They aren't managing to get any kills in their own Ubers though, and Ascent managed to make plays out of nothing. When it's even Ubers, they'll still use in. Of course, there was that single Uber where they completely failed and got no kills and didn't even get the sentry, but generally speaking, they are really working their soldiers well in the Ubers because they can get the force off and then send the other soldier behind the point. These sorts of things that just delay the fight out for so long that even Ubers and sentry gun that usually comes with a last situation doesn't have much effect on what is happening.
Definitely feels like, yeah, the idea of securing, they can secure advantages, but then actually utilizing that, it isn't looking particularly good from Feint. But at the same time, it's like, you can give some of it to Feint. Obviously, Saint are playing really well. Like they're playing around the Ubers smart. They're counting the Ubers properly, and they're doing really they're making really good movements to spread apart and make it so no one player can do too much on the side of Feint. So it's pretty like it's great to see. However, I feel like with Feint, there's at any one time there's like a couple things they could do slightly differently, which would just cause them to completely kind of change their success rate of last pushes and kind of advantage pushes in general. And I feel like it's not something Ascent can really rely upon. They can't really keep giving away these advantages because eventually Feint will just make it work. Yeah, it didn't happen for the last 30 minutes, but you can't rely on that over and over. And I think it's something which yeah, so kind of have to take into account because it does look much sloppier this map than last in terms of how they're playing around the hills.
And an important stat to take into account, the absolutely crucial stat for any single round golden cap as we find ourselves in, is that Feint took all 3 mid-fights of the game, and that is such a big advantage. If they can take this 4th and final mid-fight, if they can roll that all the way back to Ascent's last, they have all the pressure on them, and they could just finish that map off of one good mid-fight.
It is quite possible, and we've seen at least when Ascent are losing the mid fights, they are getting out with Connor. But primarily that's because they're kiting so heavily into Valley, like the second they get bombed. Granted, that's exactly what Feint's doing, and that's how most teams are playing this. But I feel like there's a fine line between kiting into Valley to get that safety from soldiers, same as on Badlands Valley, and between that and kiting so far that you can't get your heals forward, making it almost impossible for your furthest forward players to actually kind of secure frags against fully healed players. So it's definitely something I have to consider here. I mean, I think we're going to be going live in just a few minutes, so this is potentially the end of Feint's run here. So I feel like one potential last predictions here. I feel like Feint might be a little bit activated. They might just get that last piece of the puzzle and then just go for just a dominating mid into dominating last, and it's gonna be all over in about a minute and a half. But I do, I am consistently wrong. That's the one consistent thing about me. So what do you think?
Well, you were right at least to disagree with me, because neither team won. So
I mean, we're
both 0 for 2 on predictions now. But yeah, I think I'm gonna have to betray Ascent after seeing those 3 mid fights go the way of Feint. I think we could be seeing this go to a 3rd map. If they can just get a grip on their Uber charges, we might be seeing them take this one down. As we do go live, ladies and gentlemen, the Golden Cap deciding round of the 2nd map of your semi-final, Feint versus Ascent. We're into the first mid here.
Have a little look, see what's going on. This time, Lucas playing towards his high ground, getting some decent damage towards Domo. He's actually, oh yeah, he's going to get cleaned up nice and early. This is such a good start to the mid for Feint. Now, the soldier jumping in, it's not really going to do anything on the side of Ascent. We do manage to get Zebasai. What a serve from Seeds. Fighting away perfectly, but he's got to play towards Lucas now, and perhaps that's just a little bit too far forward. The players from Ascent are absolutely everywhere, and it looks like they're just going to collapse on this Feint side. Seeds definitely trying to keep Happy alive, but he's just going to get cleaned up by Zebasai. Nothing, no real pressure here towards Connor, towards just Lucas, and there's nothing he can do here. Running all the way away, and surely Zebasai is going to secure this frag. Actually, one little pipe might even just save Lucas's life here. I feel like being greedy right now would be the absolute worst thing for Lucas. Keeping him alive towards a second is going to be really crucial to play off this massive disadvantage, and all Connor has to do right now is just keep his eyes and ears open. Hiders, spies, snipers, stickies. That's the only thing on his mind as he starts moving towards second, desperate not to use his Uber here and to save it for last.
Yep, very good play from the Ascent soldiers on that mid. As soon as Domo went down, they knew what they had to do. They got all the aggression in. Zebasai does get picked off in lobby, but that's not going to slow them down one bit with this 40% Ubercharge advantage. Using it in onto Domo and Polygon, the sentry in the corner will get cleaned up. There's still stickies on the point, and Kunu has come up on heavy. The counter bombs onto point from Feint now are going to collapse on Ascent.
It's so good for Feint. Not a single frag did Ascent get with that Uber. It was absolute perfect kiting. There was not even any real significant damage. That was absolutely, like, I don't even understand how that works. Lucas now, he's starting to feel himself. He's jumping forward, denying any sense of space here. He's not letting Ascent get any kind of looking towards second now. And here they are. They have their own Uber advantage. We just spent so long talking about how they need to secure these advantages and utilize them properly. Well, this is Feint's first opportunity. We do see Credo sniping, so the second they hear that, they might be just slightly more liberal with how they use things, but at least for the time being, looks like they're going to be fairly steady towards the flank. Now, that headshot rings out. Kuni gets taken out. The soldier! What a bomb from Polygon. Even Classy going down now. It's a disaster. Uber Lucas has just jumped in. Surely there's nothing he can do. No! Not a chance at all.
Domo with a bit of BM in chat there, throwing out an early GG, but it very well could be with Ascent having a 90% Ubercharge advantage. Lucas still in the spawn queue. They're taking second here, and if they can just focus down the players, not let them rotate all the way to the other side of point like they did last time, they just need some frags in this Uber and they can secure the round. They had good cap time, but all the counter jumps from the rotated players did come in.
The building from Feint is really good. They're actually on 70%. Uber now gets used 75%. The clock is ticking on Seeds getting this Uber once again. Ascent playing faster towards point. Am's starting to get on it, but the soldiers jumping in, trying to deny things. 9% now on Seeds. There's so much cap time, but actually, the Heavy can't get there in time, and Am just capped it underneath them, securing the round in the map win for Ascent.
Yep, that's Ascent going through to your grand finals. They'll be playing against Seven. Against all odds, many people predicting Feint to be the second best team this season, or maybe even the best. They had beaten Seven in the official, but it doesn't seem to be good enough when it all comes down to it in the semi-finals here. Ascent are going to take this one 2-0.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Like, what a back and forth game on both maps. I was really looking forward to, I was almost desperate for Feint to win that just so we could get a third map on Process. That would have been just like scrappy fight heaven. But I mean, I feel like you've got to put it down to the fact that, Ascent, they weren't perfect with how they used Ubers, but they just seem to have a slightly better focus, and there were definitely some questionable things from Feint at the end. Just kind of walking in, getting mulched, the big jump from Lucas at the end. It's scary stuff, but ultimately, I mean, it's going to mean the same thing. This will be Ascent, like you say, going into our grand finals now. What an upset. What an incredible game.
Yeah, an absolutely brilliant game. One of the best I've seen in a long time. I was craving that third map to see a bit more of that action. Those teams were at each other's throats the entire time. And Ascent obviously coming out on top. An unfortunate last round there for Feint. It looked like they could maybe come back after that spectacularly failed last push from Ascent, but getting all caught up in lobby, the brilliant bomb from Polygon into Valley even really was the nail in the coffin for that golden cap there.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. I mean, I'm going to have a quick check at the logs of what was a relatively short golden cap. Don't know if there's much we can really take off that. I mean, Ascent did manage to win a mid, and as a result, won the round. So maybe that's all they needed. They need to work out their mids a little bit. I think definitely going back to the mid, it was interesting to see it was kind of scrappy fights. Like, it wasn't looking particularly good for Ascent up until they got in those positions where they had players everywhere, and Feint couldn't pick a target to focus. They couldn't move forward, they couldn't move back, and I feel like that's how Ascent have approached a lot of team fights, and it's been working really well so far. So
yeah, that was working all throughout both maps for Ascent. In the Ubers, they'd have people behind. Feint were just getting pincered from both sides. They seemed so confused on what was going on. Seed's just getting killed in the back, sometimes not having his scouts with him because they're looking forwards, things like this. It's hard to deal with for Feint, but they've got to stop these soldiers getting behind them somehow during these Ubers.
well, I mean, I think we can find out a little bit more what happened in the camp of Ascent, because I do believe we have Connor here who wants to come and have a little post-game interview. So we're going to be welcoming Ascent's own medic here. Connor, how's it going?
Yo, hello. What's up?
Hi, pretty impressive game we just watched. We've kind of been in awe of some of the Ascent team fights. Definitely not exactly what we were predicting in terms of the games. I think us and a lot of people were predicting that maybe it wouldn't be super clean for Feint, but they'd just kind of eke things out. What were you thinking in terms of going in? Did you think this was going to be as confident a win as it was?
Personally, a little bit nervous going in. You thought Fate were going to win?
We did. A lot of people did. I wouldn't put it just on us. I feel like the second Fate takes down the Kings at R7. You got to start looking at those boys as maybe taking first throughout the whole season.
7 had a rough day, man. I was going in expecting a win, and I'm glad we came out of it. A little bit nervous on the old Metalworks, but a win's a win.
It is definitely must have felt good. Obviously, going into Sunshine, winning Feint's own pick. Obviously, being the first map as well, getting yourself that nice little cushion. Obviously, the way you guys have been playing, it's very kind of you've been going for some super kind of a scrappy kind of post trade refights and kind of scrappy fights within the Ubers. Obviously, we are seeing the patented AMS Uber getting used almost religiously now. It's definitely interesting to see. Was there anything kind of you were trying to do different specifically to play against Feint, or were you just kind of sticking with your own system? Make things a little bit scrappy in these Ubers and trusting your players to kind of keep working these fights.
Well, it's funny you bring up the AMS Uber because AMS isn't actually main calling for us anymore. We switched Domo onto the main call, and AMS still has his has a few words in, but so we sort of switched things up. I don't know, maybe a week ago. But okay. I wouldn't say we do anything specifically against Feint. Like, we know there's a few things we can do that, when Lucas takes a stupid Uber super deep, just kill Lucas. But there's not too much we strategize against them specifically,
No, not a great deal of kind of counter-stratting, just more or less sticking to what you guys do best. You said about how Metalworks was a little bit weird. Obviously, that was your map pick. Was that kind of based off anything particular? Was that based off of your strength or perceived Feint weakness, or just because you felt like shake it down?
We've been playing it quite a lot recently, so we felt confident on it. We got like a few specific strats, if you will, Whereas other maps, it's very much, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It's more random, if you will.
And where do you feel like you made the most profit over Feint in a way? What were you doing a lot better than them, or what were they doing a lot worse than you that allowed you to get those wins in there?
I don't know. Where our mid's good? I literally can't remember the game, man. It's just flown by.
We thought a lot of the Feint Ubers were falling a bit flat in terms of how many kills they were getting. You were good at getting your soldiers behind them, it seemed.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't getting caught a lot. I think, we played well as a blob. I was actually playing the pocket scout for once, instead of doing his run behind sort of stuff. So, yeah, I guess we weren't getting caught out.
Yeah, and some impressive surfs out of yourself on both maps, even to keep yourself alive.
Oh yeah, that's me. That's what I'm known for.
It's all good. He's the king, the king of it. Right, I feel like after now beating Feint in 2 not swift maps, but beating them in 2 maps as opposed to going all the way. Obviously, you guys are gonna be now grand finals versus 7. What's the feeling there? Like we said, Feint did narrowly beat 7 during the main season, but as you say, perhaps that wasn't 7 on their A game. Are you thinking anything kind of special for 7, or are you just going to keep on trucking through the glorious Ascent way and just do a thing, try and beat them in just as dominant fashion?
Well, I think 7 have been a bit wonky recently. I've been tuning into some of their streams. The comms are a little bit, aggressive, they're a little bit at each other's throats, sort of thing. But we're just gonna keep doing our AMS Ubers, keep taking scrappy fights, just being us,
Fair enough, I ain't gonna argue with that, and obviously all of this, it's as much as people love the ETF2L season, they love the medals, this is all really but just practice for I series coming up. Are you I believe you guys are a full roster for LAN?
Yep.
So gonna be going into that looking good, definitely gonna be looking to I would imagine there's some kind of friendly rivalry between you and your American counterparts. Look at face them in the field,
Yeah, it should be fun. Fighting them on normal ping should be good. See how we match up against them.
Well, fair enough. Definitely, you said it was an incredible game to watch. I think it's going to be definitely a semi-final worth rewatching. But obviously, going to be looking forward now to grand finals, hopefully happening sometime next week. So I guess unless you have any more burning questions, Bum, we might just wrap things up for the night.
I think that's me done. I need a rest after that crazy game.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Sounds good. We'll finish it up with some shout outs. So, Connor, as our lone interviewee, who do you want to give some love to?
Shout out to Gandhi and my team.
Fair enough. Bum, anyone for you?
I'll give a shout out to yourself, eepily, Gemm on the production, and obviously both the teams for playing. And that's about it.
Cool. I'll round things out by just saying, obviously, thanks to Bum for casting with me, Connor for coming for the interview, Gemm for sitting there whispering in our ear and laughing every now and then. And obviously, people need to keep tuned for not only the Prem Grand Finals next week, but I believe we're going to try and do a bunch of the lower division Grand Finals as well. So keep your eyes on that TFTV, keep your eyes on Twitter, because there's going to be a bunch of stuff happening next week, which, I'm not going to say I'm definitely going to do open Grand Finals, but I always try to. It's always one of the best games out there. So keep your eyes open for that, and we'll see you guys next time.